Welcome guys for another Leetcode challenge. Leetcode number 1365. So let's read it to try to understand it. How many numbers are smaller than the current number? Alright, so I can just go to the examples so that we can see like the mechanisms of the exercise. So we have an input array here, and this is the output. So for every number of this array, we want to see how many numbers are smaller than that number. Like this is 8, you can see that the other 4 numbers are smaller than 8. That is why we have 4 here. This is 1, and no number is smaller than 1. This is 2, and just one number is smaller than 2. That is why we have this one here up to the end. Right, so the same principle. Like the example number 3, everything is 7. So for every particular number, there is no other number that is smaller than it. That is why we have this 0 here. So that is basically the question. So I will try to show you the easiest, one of the easiest approaches I have in mind for this question. So how can we go about it? We have our norms made up of 8, 1, 2, 2, and 3. So we can construct an object like this. This is my object, such that we keep every number and the count of everything smaller than 8. For example, the input is going to be 8, and so we collect this one, the first number we put into the object, and then we count from the array how many numbers are smaller than 8. We're going to get 4. We'll do the same thing for the next number. From 1 we're going to get 0, and then we'll do the same thing for the next number. For 2 we're going to get 1, yeah, and an object can't have a key twice, so that would just be it. And for 3 we're going to have the 3 numbers smaller than 3. So we can start from that stage, and then we have our output, which will be made up of something like this. We'll look over this number again, and then for every number as we go through the loop, we collect the value of that number inside our object. So we are going to traverse 8 inside the object. 8 is the key, and the value is 4. As we arrive 1, the value is 0. As we arrive 2, the value is 1. And we arrive 2 again, the value is still 1. And we arrive 3, the value is 1. So those are the 3 steps. The first one, so we can code this just for the approaches we're going to take. So the first step is to construct our object, and then we loop our original array compare with object and and construct our output. So it means we're going to have like an output array that is going to be filled inside this loop, and at the end of that I'm going to return the output. So I can just do that here. Alright, so let's construct this guy. Basically we can just loop through here and construct the object, but I will try to do that with a set maybe. Okay, let's just go with the loop. So let me prepare the object. Here is this. So constant object is just an empty object. So let's loop through the loop. Okay. All right. The first thing I'm going to do, I would like to construct a set. For reminder about sets, let's go to the node console. If you construct an array, sorry, made up of, actually I think I constructed one here, made up like this. Let me add other things inside. I'll add 5 and I'll add 8 and 8 again. Alright, let me display. The thing is, I wanted to have these duplicate values. Alright, so if I construct a set and inside I'm going to convert our array to a set, this becomes our set. You see, it's made up of the elements of the array without the duplicates, so just unique values. I want to have a set so that when I'm looping over my set, I don't have to traverse a value more than once. Alright, so let me just construct my set. Yeah, it's going to be useful for us. The array this time is names. Alright, so I'll loop through the set in order to construct this object. So what will I do? So how do we loop over the set? There's a for loop. So for every element s of our set, what do we do? We are going to take that element, like from this our example below, you can see that our set will be something like this: 8, 1, 2, and 3. Alright, without the duplicate 2. So as I'm looping over this set, I can easily construct my object below. You can see the object has no duplicates. Alright, so I'm going to construct the set. So I already have, from the set I already have the keys of our object. As for the values, I'll be counting inside the array number of elements less than our key. I can do that in a separate function just to make it cleaner, like function count number is smaller numbers names of our particular number from our array. So if we give in a number in our function and an array, I would like to count the number of values inside here smaller than this. So first, my counts, I put it to 0, and then I look through. I can count that. I can actually use a filter array. So that total will be equals to array dot filter. I'll filter every value if the value is less than my number, and then it's going to return a filtered array, and I'll return the length of that array. Right, so what did I just do? Basically, if I have my array like here before, this is it, so that we can revise the filter. So if I filter this array, such that I return any value that is less than 6, what do I get? You can see I get every value that is less than 6. That is what I just did. So from this function, if I give in a number and an array, it is going to return the number of elements in that array less than number. So I'm writing it aside so that I can make our general function clean. So before we wrote that function, our objective was to construct our object like this. Firstly, we need to have our keys. We said we'll get it from the sets, and then for the values we'll have to calculate that, and that was the role of this function. So inside our object, what is the key? The key is s, and the value is this count function, and the number is s, and our array is names. Alright, so this construct our object. So at this stage here, we should have this subject. Next, we need to construct this output. So we need to loop over this number, and for every number here we collect the value inside the object variable here, and we construct our output. So 8 here is a key and the value is 4, so we put 4 into the output. So I need to loop the original array like it says here. So I can use a for loop for every n of names. What do we do? We'll collect the values. So n here will constitute the keys here. So we'll get this key value pair. We'll get the value, and the value is object of n is the key. We'll get that and push it inside the output. Alright, and at the end we return the output. So let's see how that goes. I can run the code. And I think we're good to go. Let me submit the final submission. Alright guys, I think that's fine. So to make it easy, again I go one more time over the explanation. We have our original array here. Now I convert into a set so that I don't have duplicates, and then from this set I construct my object, and every element of this set constitutes the key of that object. And as for the values, I need to count inside the nonce. If I need to count the number of numbers less than each of this key. That is why I have like a helper function here. So this helper function determines how many numbers inside array here is less than name, and returns that number. Alright, so as I loop through our names here, not there. So as I loop through our set, I construct the object. This is the key and the value, and then from the object I get the output. So basically loop over the original array. It starts at 8 and it goes to the object and says 8 is the key here. What is the value? 4. I take 4 and load inside, or push it inside the output. That is what this loop is doing, and then I return the output. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and you can put in the comments ways to optimize the algorithm or make it faster or something. See you on another challenge.